I need to get another one myself here.
All right, well, we are live, and we're joined as always by Treeb Talks. Treeb, we sure as hell have not.
My God.
We have not had any technical difficulties at all today, have we? Everything has just been running as smooth as butter.
Well, and the most absolute ludicrous part about this is that you just started the broadcast, just not even giving anybody a warning. You just up and started it, and we totally have had no technical difficulties, not even a sliver of one. Just kidding. We have had a slew of technical difficulties. Fuck Zoom, fuck Skype, fuck Discord, fuck it all. I am so irate with it, and there was question a little bit before this stream got started if the raw interview crew or the guest were gonna lose some steam. But you know what? I'm full of steam because I am irate. But you know what? We're still gonna have fun. We're still gonna get this thing done. So yeah, rant over, Trey. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt. We are back with another edition of the Raw Interviews, and we appreciate you guys coming on. And we have a guest with us. His name is Evan. Don't know if he's still fixing his stuff, but he'll be on when he can. So, Treeb, you lost your wallet. We don't need to rehash the story, but tell me about the other stuff. Do you lose your car keys a lot? Do you find yourself just losing a bunch of stuff? I can name. I think one of the things that both of us lost is our minds throughout this whole process. So
I will say that I have completely lost my mind during this whole process. I will say that we are on episode 3, right?
Number 3.
We are in July.
And I'll just say number interviews 1 through 2 worked pretty much flawlessly.
Yeah, pretty much flawlessly. There were some audio issues,
but nothing
too bad.
Yeah.
But I will say that my man here, who I am about to introduce, is definitely the candidate for Guest of the Year for the amount of treachery we have put this man through. This guy here, he's gone through a lot. Today, he's gone through a lot in his career. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Evan Wiederspohn. Evan, how are you doing?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. This whole technical difficulties thing actually led to Treeb calling me via phone for the first time ever.
That's true. I don't even have Evan's phone number, and just for the people at home, me and Evan are actually really good friends, really good pals, and this is I don't have his number, Trey. I think calling is a lost art these days.
Well, now that you have his number, you're probably gonna booty call him one of these days.
He didn't deny.
He didn't deny it.
He didn't deny it. We're gonna have to talk to Renee and tell her that if I get a late night call from Evan, you already know.
You already know what is going down.
Well, he does live in Washington. You know what goes on in Washington.
Yes.
Homoerotic things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in Seattle.
And that's where that's kind of Evan's neck of the woods. Anyway, Trey, I kind of took over your hosting duties. This is a mess of a podcast. Could be podcast of the year, could not be. But anyway, back to you. I got to do some producer stuff. Hold it this way, so you're not by this, so you're not blocking the mic.
All right. Yeah. So Evan, the first thing that I wanted to ask you with is that you are a college alum. At least according to Treeb. I'll fire him if you got that information inaccurate. but the first thing I want to ask you is talk to me about your college career. Do you think that it was worth it, and do you think that it is a necessary requirement in getting into the field that you are currently working right now?
No, I don't think it's a necessity. I've gotten really lucky in my career at the very beginning. But all you need to do is get your foot in the door somehow, and there's a way to kind of ride with that. If you want to say I'm a college graduate, then I guess you could. I mean, I've got a Walla Walla Community College 2-year degree, which is something. But I never went to school for journalism. I always wanted to do it, but I never went down that route. But I do have a 2-year degree. I guess it opens some other opportunities.
Yeah, no doubt. And opportunities is what leads to those doors being open. And like you said, journalism might not be your intended path, but with the college degree, you're able to, get those other opportunities. But since you said something pretty interesting, you said that journalism wasn't your necessarily your go-to. So what was like your intention at first, and what kind of drew you into the whole journalism field?
Well, it was always like the number one. I always wanted to get into it, but I never, went to school straight after high school for it. When I started working at the Lewiston Tribune with Treeb here, I was like 23, about 5 years ago. So I didn't really pursue it, I guess, in my super early 20s and directly after high school. So I just didn't end up going to like the 4-year university and studying journalism like that. Like I was always just into it because I was a fan first and foremost.
Yeah, no doubt. Being a fan first and foremost, and I guess what are some of the things that draw you into journalism? And do you think, because I know Treeb and Evan, Randy was big into journalism, and would you say that is your preferred category of journalism? Is there any other forms of journalism that you could see yourself doing in the past, or do you think you're pretty committed with the sports side of things?
Oh, I mean, I would never say never, but it was always about the sports for me, for sure, 100%, and it still is.
Yeah, no doubt. So another bullet point that Tree provided me, shout out to Tree, is that you actually came out of the Seattle area into Lewiston. I myself, the last time I was there was probably 2018, and I can imagine things over there are pretty crazy. But would you say that being from a city as big as Seattle and now moving up here to the valley, that the culture shock is probably hit you a lot? And do you think that you liked it overall? Like, do you miss Seattle, or are you just kind of like, I'm glad I'm here?
He's in Everett right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you put Seattle.
Sorry. I thought you thought he was in Idaho. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Sorry. Go on.
We just we just call it Seattle if you're from anywhere on the west side anyway. So
talk to me about you coming to Idaho, Evan. What was it like when you came to Idaho? I know that you kind of have some ties to the LC Valley, but you spent a decent amount of time here in the valley from when you went to Walla Walla, when you worked here at the Tribune. What are some pros and cons to living to the valley as opposed to living in the greater Seattle area?
I mean, it definitely, like Trey had mentioned, it was kind of a culture shock. At least for the first year I was there. I mean, I was there for just about 3 years of time down there. So, I got a pretty good sense for the valley in the 3 years I was there. But I mean, I was a 22-year-old kid, and the slowness of the valley was a good thing for me at the time. And yeah, I absolutely love it I loved it down there.
Yeah, no problem. So what are the biggest things that you would say you miss about living in a big city? Because I know me personally, I never really lived in a big city, but I'm a big mall kind of guy. I kind of like going to the malls and just kind of, looking around and stuff like that. So like, is there any stuff that are from the big city that you kind of miss being in more of a, I don't want to say rural, but kind of rural community?
Well, I guess everything's just amplified. Um, I would say that there's a lot more just options for anything you need, I guess. But you still kind of have the same options in a a more rural town like Lewiston. It's just it's just a little different, but it's not like you don't have everything you need.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So yeah, coming down to Seattle, and are you a Seahawks fan? That's something that Treeb actually failed to provide me, and he's gonna be fired if he makes another mistake like that. But are you a Seahawks fan, and like who are your teams that you follow?
Yeah, I mean, I claim the Seahawks absolutely. I'm not a big football fan in general, but I definitely grew up watching the Hawks all the time, at least throughout high school. But I'm more of a basketball guy, so I spend a lot more time doing that than even watching the Seahawks.
Let the record be shown, or whatever the phrase is, that in these bullet points, in this layout, I do have importance of basketball, love of basketball in the notes. So he knew that basketball was your sport.
I got ahead of myself.
He did.
I'm sorry.
He did get ahead of himself. But while we are on the topic of basketball, Evan, one thing I would really like to discuss, and I'd like for you to discuss here on a public platform, is the man crush that you have on Jimmy Butler. And why Jimmy Butler? Why do you love him so much?
I like the way he came up. He's a super great player, and I just love seeing guys that come into the league as strictly like a defensive body to throw at teams, and that's where he started. And like that his game isn't necessarily shooting threes or relying on athleticism. He's just a super smart, high IQ basketball player, and he competes. I like all that.
Can you talk to me about your Halloween costume that is also your profile picture on Twitter, and kind of give me some background on that and the connection to Jimmy Butler?
So, I've got this running joke with a couple of my buddies who one of them's a Lakers fan and one of them's a Celtics fan. That's how that started. I just did it for the bit, just to prove my loyalty, essentially.
But what was the costume though,
Evan? Emo Jimmy, a full emo Jimmy costume, and if you weren't there at his media day, he had that emo look to him, and why not? It's a great Halloween costume.
Yeah, no doubt, and that is a great comp. Would you say that Halloween is probably your favorite holiday overall? What's your go-to Halloween candy? Just
off the cuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, candy corn. I don't care if anyone hates on it too. I'll defend candy corn until kingdom come.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
I knew it.
All right, so I got a question for you. So you did have a former career of a stringer, and forgive me, but I have absolutely zero idea on what that is. I almost want to say it's a stripper, but it's a stringer. So forgive me for my ignorance on this subject, but Treeb thought it was interesting to mention as he has it on its notes. So could you please describe to me what that is?
That's a stringer is, someone that writes in a freelance capacity, essentially. Just, being able to pick up stories on the fly and not be paid by the hour and just be paid per article.
Yeah, and talk to me, Evan, about how being a stringer kind of impacted your career, because really me and you kind of came up the same way. We took the stringer route, and just kind of talk to me about that grind. Talk to me about, what it's like to kind of come in as a part-timer and build your way up to a full-time role.
It feels it felt kind of weird to me at the beginning, because you're never really guaranteed any big assignment, or anything that would normally be thrown to the full timers. So, you just kind of have to do all the dirty work at the beginning and be willing to do that and be willing to stay up until 12:45 in the morning at work and, edit little stuff of the sports section and, just kind of hope that you can kind of prove yourself and then maybe get a couple of big breaks. And that's when you really get to, see what you're made of.
Yeah, no question. So from, you're talking about the freelance, and you actually did some freelancing as a scout, which is very interesting. That to me is probably the most interesting thing in all of sports. So talk to me about how you got into that. That sounds very interesting.
No doubt. That was super fun to do. I did that for a little bit more than a year, close to a year and a half, I think. I had picked up that kind of work when I had moved back to the Seattle area when I left Lewiston in 2021. And at that time, there was a lot of outlets were recovering from COVID, and especially in the Seattle area, there was definitely no big basketball tournaments, and everything else was pushed back way far as far as high school sports went. So they were trying to rebuild this website, which is prephoops.com, and that's one of the top scouting high school websites in the country. Each state has their own specific website for that, or maybe there's not all of them, 47 or something. There's a couple that don't have it. Off the top of my head, I don't know that, but I'd start doing that, and it was really fun because I got to go to basketball games and tournaments throughout this Seattle area and just kind of do whatever I wanted to, essentially. But the whole idea of that was to just, go see as many players as you can. And that really helped me get my foot back in the door when I came over here. And I was super comfortable with basketball as well. So I had a ton of fun doing that.
What were you got any interesting stories? I mean, any people you covered? I mean, by now, none of them would be in the league quite yet. But I mean, any big D1 prospects you get to analyze, talk to? I know there's a couple of Idaho guys you might drop, but any particular guys stick out to you during your time as a freelance scout?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the list is long, but I feel like it's the talent is way more just scattered over on this side in Seattle. So I've seen a lot of good basketball players that during the new transfer portal era, they didn't really get those big offers like they would have before 2020. But I'd probably say like the most impressive player I've seen up close was Isaiah Stewart. He won two state titles with Garfield, and he ended up going to UConn, and he's been part of the team over there. Their two national championships the last couple of years. So that's probably the top one I've seen.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when it comes to scouting, is it pretty obvious? Because I haven't really seen a whole lot of I watch football on TV and stuff like that. But when you're evaluating players as a scout, is it pretty obvious that when you see like a dude, like someone who turns out to be like a 5-star, 4-star recruit, is it just like plain as day that they're better than everybody else that's out there? Or do you think it has a little bit more nuance to it as far as determining who's good, who's like the elite of the elite?
Oh, I mean, it's hard. I mean, you have to know what to look for, in a lot of different areas. But I'd say that you can definitely have about 20 to 25 guys on the top of your mind that you're like, all right, these are like the top 25 in the state. and then it kind of gets a little harder after that, I'd say.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's the one thing that always interests me when athletes is like, I feel like when you have like a really solid athlete, they always go have a time to where they notice early on in their career that they're just so much better than everyone else that's out there. So you said that it has a little bit more nuance to it, and do you think that it's a bad look? Like for example, Tom Brady, 6th round pick, 199, and had a bad scouting report. Do you think that for the majority, like there might be a few misses here and there, but do you think that the majority of scouts do their job in evaluating talent consistently?
Yeah, I mean, I worked with a 3 to 4 person crew where, we would have meetings, every other week just to kind of discuss what we've seen uh, during each season. But I mean, everybody makes mistakes on no matter what level you're at for scouting. I mean, there's a there's a lot of and there's a lot of people that you'd never expect to make it where they did. So I mean, I think everybody does their job to the best of their capabilities, but no one can predict the future ever.
Yeah, and Trey's kind of, he's talking more kind of like a college to professional level kind of thing. You're on like a high school to college level sort of deal, and I think that might be even a little bit more difficult to analyze that type of talent to see, where a high school kid kind of fits in, a D1, D2, D3, NAIA level. Where, how do you do that per se? How do you analyze a kid and you could kind of tell like where this kid should land or how well his talents are going to develop at the next level or where his game should take him? You know what I mean?
Well, you have to be able to see, which level they excel at, which is, as far as they can go in that high school level. I mean, there's some tough tournaments that get played in the summer when those kids are on AAU teams, and they're playing 3 to 4 games a day over a weekend, and that's physical basketball where they're 18 games in one arena being played at one time, and so those are tough moments. So I mean, it's easy to kind of see some of the dudes that are standing at the end of the day and still making an impact.
Yeah, and kind of walk me through, I guess, your first maybe couple months on the job. It has to be hard kind of stepping into that role and kind of being a guy that says, this is a kid that has the measurables or has the numbers because I say so and I've only been on the job for a couple of weeks. How do you kind of get comfortable reading these kids and knowing kind of where your voice is in this kind of role? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to be able to just discuss it with your team as well. I mean, a lot of people see different things when they watch kids. So, I found it really helpful that I was, doing that job with a couple of guys who are, cutting their teeth in their coaching careers right now. That definitely helped me as well. Being able to think what other coaches think.
Awesome. And then one last thing for me on the scouting things, what's your craziest scouting story? You got anything crazy that happened, either from somebody saying, this opinion is dog shit, or, somebody going off, an undercover gem, anything crazy from your scouting career?
Oh, give me a second to, yeah, definitely. Man, I would. Are you talking about a kid that I've specifically seen, or?
Yeah, a kid that you've seen, or maybe just like some comments from some parents, because as a journalist you get those. Just anything crazy from that part of your career that stands out to you.
I would have to go with an overarching parents for sure. Um, you, you know, we've definitely had some Twitter parents getting their feels about where their kids ranked, and that was always funny to me. But I guess I can't really name a specific time where one was worse than the other. but it's you see that all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. And you brought up the Twitter parents thing, and how often does kind of, I guess the off the field, the off the court, is this guy a troublemaker? Is he, doing stuff that's, outside? Does that kind of play a role, in your level, or or are you just strictly talking about, this guy's a dude on the field. I don't care if he drives drunk or does anything else. It's just this.
I haven't come across anyone like that, at least, not to public knowledge or anything like that. But, I mean, you definitely have, some players that all of a sudden aren't there anymore. That's happened a couple of times, and sometimes you just don't know, what these kids are going through. But for the most part, if you're looking to get a Division I, Division II, or any type of scholarship for basketball, I mean, you gotta show up, and if the kid's showing up to every game, then I mean he's doing something right.
And then one last basketball question for me, Evan. Here, what's your opinion on prep schools and kind of that avenue where kids are reclassifying and kids are paying to go to these prep schools now to, I guess, just kind of focus on basketball. Kids are going to Boys and Girls Club America,
junior college.
That's a totally different thing. But
Okay.
Boys and Girls Club America High School, like seniors reclassifying as juniors. What's your thoughts on that?
I guess it's partly just the times we live in. Those type of decisions are made more frequently. But I mean, my opinion on it. I mean, it can be good. It could be bad. I mean, it depends on the player and the situation always. But I mean, at first glance, it's tough to wrap your head around some of it, because there is that type of come up that you aren't necessarily getting at a prep school that you would, playing for your high school. I think there's some value in there as well. But, the higher level you go, the more people in their corner are going to tell them to go play against the best. And, right now there's a lot of talent in prep schools and really challenge yourself. But, it's always a risk. It's always a risk.
Now, before I hand you off the tray, just to kind of build on that, are these prep schools the best of the best right now, you think, or are the dogs still playing in high school basketball? Like, are they convincing the best of the best away from these public private high schools to go play for these, Youth of America high schools that are, taking classes in Madden and, PE, or are they what's the deal there?
I mean, they do their best. They do their best job they possibly can to, lure some kids away from their high school teams. I've seen it work and I've seen it not work, and I've seen it work out for some kids to stick around. And a lot of kids did it just because they don't want to go do that, and they don't want to go travel their entire year going to different tournaments and stuff like that. So, I mean, if it's for them, it's for them. But if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt. And, being a basketball guy, I got to ask your opinion on probably the most controversial, topic going on in basketball right now. What is your opinion on the whole Bronny James situation?
People are pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? It's expected that it's kind of turned into more than just an objective evaluation. There, I'd say at first glance, for sure.
Do you think it is nepotism because I don't follow basketball personally. Well, I mean, obviously it probably plays a part because he's LeBron James's son. But
LeBron James.
Is it true that like at the time he was picked, I know he wasn't like a first round pick or nothing. He got picked a little bit later, but do you think that it was kind of a LeBron nepotism type thing going on, or do you think he kind of earned it in a way?
It is nepotism by the definition of the word. I mean, Bronny James, his career pre-draft is nowhere near a lot of comparable 55th round or 55th overall picks. But in a way, he did earn it because it was the 55th pick, and at that point, it's usually a grab bag anyway, so I guess you might as well do it at that point.
All right, Evan, I want to go back to just your career and you as a person, man. Me and you, we've taken the same path, me and Evan have, to kind of get to where we're at, and I kind of want to get your take on some things. Working as a stringer, working as a part-timer, a lot of that comes with long hours, and we're not talking about long hours just with the stringer jobs. We're talking long hours because you got a job in the morning and you got a job at night at the newspaper. Talk to me about the stressful days of working two jobs, how long you did it, and just kind of the grind that it is to get to the point that you reached in your career.
Well, I had never worked. I'd never had to work a second job until I came out to the LC Valley during that time. But as soon as I got that job, because I was never gonna not do that when I started working at the Lewiston Tribune, but I was still taking some college classes at Walla Walla, and I was still working as a server at a restaurant down there. So, I had to do that for a really long time because, you know how much we were making an hour. It was $7 an hour. So that was, it was hard, but, there's some good stuff that come from working two jobs. I never had to give one too much thought other than 20 to 25 hours a week at each. So it was kind of cool to be able to split your brain power, but you're juggling schedules on a week to week basis based on whatever you need to do to still be able to write about sports. So I just had to not think about it for a while, to be honest, and I still had to do that when I came back to Seattle and was scouting players as well.
Yeah, talk to me. You guys aren't seeing Evan right now, but if you look at his Twitter profile picture, as he is emo Jimmy, if you were serving me food, Evan, I wouldn't imagine I would tip you very much. I just wouldn't imagine you would be a very good server.
You don't tip in general.
So. Yeah. Well, I would tip Evan $-
If you haven't been in the game before, then you haven't been in the game before. It's okay.
Talk to me about your career as a server, because you did that. You've done that longer than you've been in journalism, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's what I did to pay my bills when I had first moved out. When post high school or around age 20. So, it's just something I always knew I was good at, and it's a good gig. You don't have to work a full 8-hour shift, and you get to walk home with cash.
How does a depressed, unfunny guy like yourself get make a living off of tips as a server? I want to know.
Well, I mean, it's much easier in Washington than it is in Idaho because of the wages. I mean, you're still getting a full paycheck when you're doing it out in the Seattle area, along with everything else.
Sorry, I had to flame you that bad. You know, if because
yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
it's you should hear the insults me and Evan fling at each other when we're not live and we're not recording. It gets.
I got to hear a few of them.
Yeah. You know, that's if you know, you know.
Yeah, it gets worse. But you know, something I asked Randy too, and I want to ask you this as well. Trey, I feel like I've kind of taken over the hosting roles. I'll let you get back to some questions here in a second.
They're all good.
But I do want to ask, when you were here in 2020, you kind of came from the same tree as me and Randy as well. You came from the Don Walden tree. Kind of talk to me about Don Walden and kind of what he meant for your career and how he kind of brought you up and kind of how he had a way with the stringers and kind of building him up to full-time journalist roles.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, God rest his soul, but I don't think I really truly appreciated the way he approached bringing young stringers up, including myself. I think I was the first person he hired when he personally hired when he came to the Lewiston Tribune. And I mean, to be honest, I think he only did it just because I had, found a way in with Butch Alford. So I only think he was doing it just to keep the top person happy there, but he'd be super hard on you. But, him going bananas at the desk was, he kept it interesting.
Sure.
I mean, don't do a short dash instead of a long dash on Friday night.
Never.
Yeah. All right. So you talked a little bit about and I love the conversation that you and Treeb had about the part-time grind of the Tribune, and one of the questions that I had was what is the main difference between part-time journalism and doing full-time?
Well, I'd say, I mean, your opportunities are much more spaced out in a part-time role. When you tackle the full-time responsibilities, it almost feels like, that is your life. I mean, Treeb can attest to that, probably.
Yeah.
But that's number one. That's number one. When you're the full-time person, you kind of feel like you aren't allowed to miss anything.
Yeah, especially when you got a beat, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So, the importance of local journalism, you, Treeb and Randy, I think all of you guys provide, daily coverage on sports, keeping, the fans upgraded. And I guess to go off of that, what do you think is, the most important things for a local journalist? What would you say is, I guess, your mission statement at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, you're there for whatever your local beat is, and it's part of our responsibility to try to bring out those local moments as much as possible. And you really have to embrace that, especially in this day and age where if me and Treeb were 10 years older, we probably would have came up during the time where we would have had triple as many journalists on the beat, and you would have had a little bit of an army there. But
100.
It gets harder and harder when there's less people doing it.
100%. And speaking about the importance of local journalism, something that Evan went through and something that the Tribune recently went through and something a lot of local newspapers are going through are layoffs. And Evan, you were a part of a big crop of layoffs at your local paper. just kind of talk to me about just what was that like? Because I know that when the Tribune did their most recent slate of layoffs, it was emotional. We had a whole staff meeting. Everybody was in. Jesus.
What?
Can you make more noise in the background while I'm trying to make an emotional statement? My goodness gracious. but like Butch Alfred, the owner of the paper, he cried. I mean, it was a big emotional deal. Can you just kind of talk about that experience and what that was like to go through, especially when you were one of the casualties?
Emotional is the right word. Yeah, about half of the Everett Herald's newsroom got laid off, and I was a part of that. Just some big cuts that a new company who had came in and taken over that section of newspapers here in the Pacific Northwest. But it's a tough feeling because as a local journalist, you've got plans in your mind, stuff that you wanted to do but didn't have the time to do it, so you push it back. So when you're laid off at the drop of a hat and that's what you're told, then it's really hard to kind of give up those things immediately.
Yeah, and I know that this is kind of a different deal. I know that that's going on over there. I mean, there's strikes going on, and just a lot of stuff going on over there in Washington. Um, you know, where are you at right now with your career? I mean, are you going to be looking for more journalism jobs? Where does this leave you now that you're laid off and you don't have a job? I mean, this can happen to anybody working in any field, but journalism, it's really tough, man. I know how this is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I had felt the layoff. I mean, it wasn't to this extent, but when we were both working together in 2020,
Yeah, I
at
was
the
gonna
Lewiston
leave. Yeah.
Tribune during COVID, they laid off all the part timers, and there was a really good crew there at that point, and that was definitely devastating. So I'd say I can look at this one and laugh about it a little bit more, even though it hurts deep down. But I still want to be in it, and I've got some irons in the fire. So we'll just see how it goes.
So you would say what's next for Evan Wiederspohn is that your name's going to be in the newspaper somewhere, right? Or your name's going to be online somewhere. This is not going to be the end of your journalism career. You're going to bounce back, and you're going to be back in action.
That's correct. That's correct. That will for sure happen.
And I mean, with your experience, I mean, being a scout now, you've done prep sports. I think you've done a little bit of semi-pro baseball, maybe here and there, or not semi-pro, but maybe semi-pro, like double A. But what is your ideal job? What are you looking for your next stop?
Well, I mean, I always have gotten into it to eventually be a basketball specialist.
Okay,
so in whatever capacity I can do that in is going to be the ultimate goal.
Awesome, man. And well, Trey, you got any more topics you want to hit on here with Evan?
Well, the two other things that I had to ask you was, so you're a big Survivor guy, and you apparently have an obsession to Juice World, and so going off of that, what who would you say is your favorite guest on Survivor, and what is your favorite Juice World track?
Favorite guest on Survivor?
Right.
Contestant, player.
Contestant, yeah.
Man, favorite one ever. I mean, Treeb kind of knows maybe the route.
Hold
that
on,
I'm
hold on,
gonna
hold
go
on. If
here
can I
harass him with Survivor comments.
can I guess who your favorite Survivor player is?
I would like
that. Wentworth.
I knew you were gonna say that. Look, she's not number one, but Kelly Wentworth gets unnecessary hate.
She's the
from
worst.
Treeb on basically no objective grounds. I mean, it's weird where the hate comes from, but no, she's not my favorite. I'd probably say my favorite is Jeremy.
Oh yeah, that is his favorite.
Who was most recently on Survivor 40 Winners at War, and got treated unfairly by the rest of the contestants, and that's why he wasn't able to win.
All right, and then also I gotta make a comment for Jamin because he's in the chat talking about we're getting smacked in Madden, kind of like how we've been smacking you and the rest of the AFC East for the past decade. So.
Oh jeez. Well, going back to Survivor, and stay tuned on the Treeb Talks YouTube channel. When Survivor 50 comes out, there may be an Evan and Treeb Survivor podcast.
Hell yeah.
There may be. We've been talking about it. That's been something that potentially is in the works. But Evan, I gotta ask, does Wentworth rank in your top 3?
Wentworth would not rank in my top 3.
For how much you talk about her.
She's the top 10. She's at least the top 10 in my book.
All right. Now, since we're on the Survivor topic, I have to ask, what is your top 3 off the dome favorite Survivor series? Favorite Survivor season, sorry.
Season 14, Survivor China is number 1. At least that was, I probably got that number right.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be season 37, David versus Goliath.
Yep, that's a good one.
And my third one, it's probably a toss-up between season 33, Millennials versus Gen X, or Heroes versus Hustlers versus Healers.
All right. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, 47 minutes into the podcast, it is time for everybody's favorite segment in the Raw Interviews podcast.
I think we need to find like a cool song or like a transition we can play.
I know. I've been thinking about investing into a soundboard. Like,
costs like $2,000.
No, not like a $2,000 soundboard, but just like a Donald Trump soundboard.
How much would that cost?
I don't know, but
have what every sound effect is. You're fired.
Well, Trey, why don't you tell everybody the joke you made about the Trump the Trey game before we started this podcast here?
I need to hear this.
Well, no, I was just saying because it is Trump the Trey, but I was saying due to recent events that maybe it would be best if we maybe changed it and just took the Trump part out of there. And I don't want to say the other part of the joke that I had.
It was assassinate the Trey. That was what he was gonna say. Assassinate the Trey, and
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And it was also funny. I want to say today at work, one of the AP stories that were recommended that we put online today was the.
Yeah, you're trying to get me canceled.
I will say that one of the AP stories that was recommended that we put on today for the paper was the guy that tried to kill Trump. The last thing he looked up before he did the assassination. You want to guess what it was on his phone? This is a political podcast now.
I'm gonna say the last thing he looked up before he did what he did was gay porn.
It was porn.
But it wasn't gay porn.
I don't know. I didn't look up the specifics. Could have been gay porn, but it was porn, 100%. And then I was like, man, he really wanted to do that assassination. Because like imagine going through watching the porn, and then like because you don't watch porn just to watch porn. You know what you're doing when you're watching porn. But you go through the porn, and then you finish, and then you're like, I'm still gonna shoot the fucking former president of the United States. Like, that is a sick motherfucker.
He didn't exactly have the post nut.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's the alley oop I'm looking for.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Trump the Tray. Evan, did I tell you the subjects already?
I don't think you did. That makes it better, right?
No, I did not. All right. So today's subjects are rap music. Evan, you are a fan of the rap music. And
yeah, that is. That's all I listen to, man.
And Breaking Bad.
Love it.
Yeah, you like Breaking Bad too.
I do. I actually just rewatched it not that long ago, so
Perfect.
Fresh in my mind.
Perfect. All right. So, we're going to start things off with rap music. I'm going to adjust this so I can get the comments. I want you to hold the phone while I ask the questions, and then hold it into the mic. Well, you got to flip it, remember? All right. Evan, are you familiar with Stump the Schwab and the Trump the Tray game?
Yes.
All right. The first question here. There have been 182 XXL freshmen since 2007. Name them until someone gives up. Trey, as the host of this game, would you like to start or defer? And before we start with that, Evan, do you understand the question?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to start or defer?
I'll go first, and I'll say Iggy Azalea.
Correct.
Lil Uzi Vert.
Correct.
MGK.
Correct, yeah.
21 Savage.
Correct.
Jaron Benton.
Correct.
Hobson.
Correct.
Dizzy Wright.
Correct.
Denzel Curry.
Correct.
Kendrick? Was he on?
Correct.
Okay.
Shy Glizzy.
Correct.
Designer.
Correct. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lil B.
Yeah, you're out.
All right, I got it.
Trey gets a point. With the
Soldier Boy.
I don't think he was either. There's no way. It was.
He was before Double XL.
Yeah. He probably invented Double XL. Let's be real.
You know he did.
Yeah. All right. This next one. Oh god damn it! I'm on a phone call. I didn't prepare for this. Give me. Actually, I think I kind of know him off the top here. 17 rappers have won. Actually, I'm on my laptop. I'm gonna fill dead air here. We got a 1-0 score. Trey's in the lead. Trey has never won the Trump the Tray game. We've only done it once, but he has never won. And now is his chance. He has a 1-0 lead. 17 rappers have won a Grammy for Rap Album of the Year. Name them until one person gives up. Trey, you're first.
I'm going to go Macklemore.
Correct.
Could you repeat the question actually here?
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
17 rappers have won a Grammy for Rap Album of the Year. Name them.
Wow, only 17, huh? Kendrick Lamar.
Correct.
Eminem.
Correct.
Kanye West.
Correct. 4.
Lecrae. I don't think it wasn't that. I know he won a Grammy, but I don't think it was that. Oh.
And that is incorrect.
Alright,
Yes.
tied up.
Evan ties it up. Evan, you got another guess just for fun?
Oh.
Get out of here.
Future. Future.
Incorrect. All right. So it's tied 1-1 here. This one is almost exclusively made. Stop doing that.
Sorry.
This one's almost exclusively made for Trey. So, Evan, you might be in the fucking dumps for this one. I don't know how much you know about this. I want you guys to name members of D12 until one person gives up. Trey?
Members of what?
D12. The rap group D12. Trey?
Eminem.
Correct.
Yellow Wolf.
Incorrect.
Okay. Let for shits and giggles, let me just say. So you got Proof,
Yep.
Dirty Harry, Conniva, Con Artist, Swift, Bizarre. So technically, there's only 6 members of D12.
Yeah, and you named like 2 people that weren't even on the list.
But there's 6 members of D12, but each of them has an alter ego like Eminem has Slim Shady.
Oh.
But nah, I know most of them,
All right.
or all of them.
So Trey takes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah. I think that this contest is rigged. Trevin, the rig is in. Trevin's asking me questions I know the answer to, so don't get mad at me, Evan.
But-
Blame Treeb.
No,
Blame.
Oh, I'm always done. I'm blaming Treeb. Don't worry.
The Yellow Wolf guess, though, I like that.
Yeah.
Right? Not bad.
Fucking Catfish Billy. Fucking nobody's gonna continue the lyrics of Catfish Billy. It's just me.
Catfish, good show.
Don't make me go pop the trunk.
Oh,
On
that's
you.
it's a different song, but
It's a
all
Yellow
right.
Wolf song.
It's a different song that I say, but all right. All right. Now, while I Google another freaking thing that I assumed that I was gonna have my phone for this podcast, but things change, and we fill dead air with me talking, and we have it figured out. We got it. Ready, guys?
Oh yeah.
7 rap albums have gone diamond. Name the artist or name the album.
All Eyes on Me.
Correct.
Drake.
Drake? That is incorrect.
Oh.
Can't
Juice
believe,
WRLD.
Incorrect.
Can't believe Nelly's on there.
Yeah, Nelly is on there. Trey.
I'm not cheating either. I saw it after. I'm not.
All right, this one I made exclusively for Evan. So, to even the score going into Breaking Bad. We are going to bring this up, and hopefully he can answer, because I did this just for the boy. He is down 3-1, and we are hoping that he can rebound. 9 rap songs were number 1 on the rap charts in 2016. Name them.
I'm gonna go Trap Queen.
Trap Queen That is incorrect. Randy, you just got to get one song here. You got any song?
We will go. What's that one Trippie Redd and Travis Scott song? No, that was 2017.
You got unlimited time here. You got the only guess here.
Trap Queen was a good guess.
Is that yeah?
Let's go with yes. Big Sean's got some of them there, doesn't he?
I'm not answering that.
I can't name a song, but I know one of them's Big Sean. No, wait. Paradise, Big Sean.
Paradise Big Sean is incorrect. Trey, you got any songs?
Supposed to Be by Omarion.
That
2015.
was 2015.
Yeah.
2015. Evan, back on you. I really thought you'd know more about 2016.
I did too.
These are all freaking. These are summer 16 classics.
Is Panini on there?
That was like a couple years ago.
Okay.
You got a guess for me, Evan, here? If you don't give me a guess soon, I'm assuming you're Googling.
Yeah, I don't got anything unless you're allowing Google.
I guess. Okay, I'm gonna take one more guess, and I guess we can just call it a draw.
Yeah.
God's Plan.
Oh, that was a good guess. No.
Oops.
But, Evan, I'm going to tell you some of these songs. You're going to feel stupid.
Yeah.
Hotline Bling. Work by Rihanna. Summer 16 by Drake. Panda by Designer.
True.
One Dance by Drake. Broccoli by Lil Yachty.
Classic.
Starboy
There we go.
by The Weeknd.
Half of these aren't even rap songs.
And
but-
Black Beatles by Ray Shrimmerd.
Right.
All right, so Trey takes a 3-1 lead heading in to the Breaking Bad round. And the first question, super simple, fellas. Name Breaking Bad characters until someone gives up.
Badger.
Walter Jr.
Saul Goodman.
Skinny Pete.
Skylar.
Combo.
Tuco.
Jane.
Jesse.
Stole that one from me, huh? I'll go with Ted.
Mike.
He deserves more respect. He should have been at the top of our list.
Right.
I gotta go with Walt. I'll take the freebie.
Alright, I'll go Hank. Yeah.
And I'll go with Marie.
Five, 4,
Gus.
3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't get his name.
Trey
I took it.
takes a 4-1 lead with 4 questions left. All right. Name actors that play the characters in Breaking Bad until someone gives up.
I'll go Aaron Paul. Keep it simple.
Oh, God. Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Bob Oderick.
5, 4,
Oh, God.
3,
No.
2, 1, 0. And officially, Evan could not trump the Trey. And Trey has
Take it.
finally won his own game. I don't know why I said finally. There's only been 2 episodes. But, okay, Evan, here. I'll ask you these 3 either-or questions. Or these 3 just trivia questions, and then see if you can make the score more respectable here. What is Jesse's blood type?
B negative.
Incorrect. Trey, do you know that one?
No.
No. A minus.
Yeah.
Okay, Evan. When Jesse goes home, his parents are doubtful he is clean and are very suspicious of his influence on his younger brother. Why do they wind up kicking him out of the house?
Because the cops were looking for him.
No. You know?
No, I know the question. They found some weed, but it was it was actually not Jesse's. It was his brother's, but Jesse took the heat for it.
Yeah, exactly. In the episode Buyout, Jesse enjoys dinner at Walt's house with Walt and Skyler. He especially likes the green beans with slivered almonds. Where did they come from?
Albertsons.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. 100% right. All right. That does it for Trump the Trey, and I think that does it with our time with Evan. Evan, how'd you feel about the Raw interview?
Finally got it. Finally got through it.
Yeah,
Was it 10:34 on a Friday night? Yeah, I'm feeling good. This is my time.
Yeah, no, we're feeling good. The missus probably isn't going to be so happy with me after I get home.
Definitely not.
No, definitely not going to be.
She's probably listening to this right now.
Well, there's only 2 people in here, and it's Treeb and Jamin. So, there's she's not going to be happy with me, but that's okay. We're going to get home, explain what happened, and all my trials and tribulations. So, that's going to be all right. Evan, thank you again so much for coming on, man. You're definitely the leader for Guest of the Year, especially with all the stuff you went through with us. Where can the people find you if they want to follow you on social media?
You can follow the Twitter account. That would be the main one. At Evan with 3 N's. That's Evan, EVANNNW.
Awesome. And then if you guys want to subscribe to our channel, you can. Trey is Raw. We are posting shorts, clips every day. We got the podcast coming every Friday and, sometimes on Saturdays, but we got stuff coming for you guys every single day. We got stuff coming on. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at Treeb Talks. Trey, what do you got to plug?
Oh, yeah, just like Treeb said, subscribe to my channel. If you want to follow me on X, my handle is JusticeT97, and like Treeb says, we're out here working. Ain't no one out working us.
Them are just straight facts.
Yeah.
And thank you guys again for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Peace.